Hello. Hello. Good morning. Happy Friday, TGIF. We're almost there. Good morning, Mary. How are you feeling? How's your cold? Happy Friday. Another Friday notch to carve on our belt. TGIF. For some, this is a 3-day weekend. True. Not for me, though. And Monday's holiday. Hope. Nope. No. But it will put a kink in like banking and mail and all that stuff. But, it is what it is. Would be nice. No, my next day off is Thanksgiving, but we get also the Friday off too. So that one's a 4-day weekend. We look forward to that all year long. Welcome back to Bookeemonsters. My name is PK, and Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday mornings we look at what the new releases are this week, genre by genre. And up until now, we've been looking at mystery, romance, fantasy, sci-fi, and some cozy mysteries, which is also mysteries, but there's so many of them, it's kind of its own category. So today I thought we would take a look quickly at some literary fiction. There's not a whole lot, and then go back to the cozy mysteries. So let me get rid of this banner. And we'll go here. We'll jump in. The next 25 minutes goes by very quickly. Do you have your coffee? Do you have your tea? Breakfast cookie? Second Act by Danielle Steele. She just keeps going and going. She's like the Energizer Bunny. As the head of a prestigious movie studio for nearly 2 decades, Andy Westfield has had every conceivable professional luxury: a stunning office on the 44th floor, a loyal assistant who can all but read his mind, access to a private jet and company cars. The son of Hollywood royalty, Andy always puts his career before his marriage, and now, besides his daughter and young grandchildren, it's the only thing he truly loves. But then Andy's world is upended. The studio is sold, and the buyer's son demands the top seat. Out of a job and humiliated, Andy spirals. When his head clears, he decides to get as far away from Los Angeles as possible until the dust settles and he can find a new way forward. Andy signs a 6-month rental agreement for a luxurious home in a tiny forgotten coastal town 2 hours from London. When he arrives, he hires a local woman to help get his affairs in order. A former journalist, Violet Smith, is at a crossroads as well, and this temporary job is exactly what she needs to tide her over. But when Violet leaves the manuscript of her unfinished novel behind her work one day, Andy lets his curiosity get the best of him and is captivated by a story that begs to be adapted for the big screen. Could this be the miracle they've both been looking for? In Second Act, Danielle Steele presents a heartening tale of how challenging times give way to opportunities, and an original outline does not always contain the perfect ending. Gotta say, that sounds interesting. I like mature romance. I like second chances, but this isn't a second chance. This is a mature romance. You don't see a whole lot of those, gotta say. Feeling somewhat better. It is the cough that gets me. When it starts, it doesn't want to stop. Hanging in there. Thanks for asking. Are you steaming? I'm sure you know these remedies. Pineapple juice is really a good expectorant. Cozy mysteries seem to dominate publishing these days. Indeed. And there's a lot of them. Wow, another day. Exactly. She just keeps on ticking. And that one kind of sounded interesting to me. Does that make me a bad person? No, we don't judge reading. Read as thou wilt. Charles Martin, The Last Exchange. Here's the catch. Even if I make it out of here alive, I need a reason to breathe again. When Mac Thomas Pockets finished his last tour as part of the Scottish Special Forces, Mac Thomas Pockets finished his Scottish Special Forces, he was hired to consult for film director we have a theme, to finesse some scenes that weren't working. In a twist he never saw coming, he ended up moving to LA to work as the bodyguard for movie star maybe Joe Sue. It didn't take long for Pockets to realize there were two Joe Sues. The Joe Sue the public saw with her, oh, it's a girl, okay, with her perfect life, and her Hollywood husband, and the private Joe Sue, the one with the traumatic youth that no amount of pills could cover up, who desperately wanted a child of her own. Even after the paths diverged, he continued to track Joe Sue's life. Only a few would notice when the bottom fell out, but he did, and that's when he stepped in. One man seeks to answer the question, how far would you go, really, to save someone you love? And in the masterful hands of this author, finding the answer will take readers on an intense and heart wrenching journey to the very end. I don't know, that last part about how far would you go makes it kind of sound creepy. There could be good intentions there. Stop being so negative. All right, I will. Maniac by Benjamin Labatet. Haunting story centered on the Hungarian polymath John van Neumann, tracing the impact of his singular legacy on the dreams and nightmares of the 20th century and the nascent age of AI. Prodigy, let's see. That's what the previous book. A prodigy whose gifts terrified the people around him, John van Neumann transformed every field he touched, inventing game theory and the first programmable computer, and pioneering AI, digital life, and cellular automata. Through a chorus of family members, friends, colleagues, and rivals, Labatet shows us the evolution of a mind unmatched and of a body of work that has unworldly world in its wake. The Maniac places von Neumann at the center of a literary triptych that begins with Paul Ehrenfest, an Austrian physicist and friend of Einstein, who fell into despair when he saw science and technology becoming tyrannical forces. It ends 100 years later in the showdown between the South Korean Go master Lee Sedol and the AI program AlphaGo, an encounter embodying the central question of von Neumann's most ambitious unfinished project, the creation of a self-reproducing machine, an intelligence able to evolve beyond human understanding or control. A work of beauty and fabulous momentum, The Maniac confronts us with the deepest questions we face as a species. They make it sound intriguing. Death Valley. I must be in the mood to read, because normally literary fiction doesn't really trip my trigger. Death Valley by Melissa Broder. In Melissa Broder's astounding new novel, a woman arrives alone at a Best Western seeking respite from an emptiness that plagues her. She has fled to the California high desert to escape a cloud of sorrow for both her father in the ICU and a husband whose illness is worsening. What the motel provides, however, is not peace, but a path, thanks to a receptionist who recommends a nearby hike. Out on the sun-scorched trail, the woman encounters a towering cactus whose size and shape mean it should not exist in California. Yet the cactus is there with a gash through its side that beckons like a familiar door. So she enters it. What awaits her inside this mystical succulent sets her on a journey at once desolate and rich, hilarious and poignant. No. How about no? You know, it's like that. Don't go into. Yeah, okay. It's a metaphor, PK. It's a metaphor. Okay. Did we look at this one already? We did. Midnight is the darkest hour. Okay, yep. I remember that one. All right, that's what they're saying is the literary fiction for this week. We will leave that behind and go to the cozies. Yeah, it is interesting. I just don't know. You know, it's like that. What was that book last month? Like the person fell in love with a shark or something. It was like, or turned into a shark. Give me a quest, solve a crime, save the world, get the boy or girl, whoever. Sad won't win any Nobel Prize. That set of books. Indeed. And it'd have to be next year because they've already announced them. And Annalise was reading it last night. Okay. Speaking of Annalise, hello, good afternoon to you. It's only 6 in the morning here. I got the whole day to go through. All right, we're jumping into cozy mysteries here. Where were we? We looked at Natasha Alexander on Tuesday for the mystery day. Glory B, a Glory Broussard mystery by Danielle Arsenault. This is the first in a series set in the Louisiana Bayou, introducing the hilariously uncensored amateur sleuth Glory Broussard. Perfect for fans of Richard Osman's Thursday Murder Club. It's a hot and sticky Sunday in Lafayette, Louisiana, and Glory has settled into her usual after-church routine, meeting gamblers at the local coffee shop where she works as a small-time bookie. That's different. Sitting at her corner table, Glory hears that her best friend, a nun beloved to the community, has been found dead in her apartment. When police declare the mysterious death a suicide, Glory is convinced that there must be more to the story, and with her reluctant daughter, with troubles of her own in tow, that's a sentence, launches a shadow investigation in a town of oil tycoons, church gossips, and a rumored voodoo priestess. As a Black woman of a certain age who grew up in a segregated Louisiana, Glory is used to being minimalized and overlooked. But she's determined to make her presence known as the case leads her deep into the web of intrigue she never realized Lafayette could harbor. The author's riveting debut brings for an unforgettable character that will charm and delight crime fans everywhere and leave them hungry for her next adventure. Has some interesting elements there. You're mostly, I want to jump to your time zone, at least. Oh, yeah, good question. Is it getting cold in Norway yet? It's colder today. We're starting out low 40s, maybe high 30s for the first time. But this weekend, we're supposed to be getting into the 70s. So we're getting a last hurrah. Jennifer Ashley, The Price of Lemon Cake. This one is like a 0.5 in the Below Stairs series. This is a novella, 69 pages. And this, I have all these books because my mom reads them, and it's on my TBR. When Kat Holloway approaches Lady Bobby Perry and Judith Townsend to help her discover what a young aristo is getting up to in a gentleman's club, Bobby quickly accepts, coaxing a promise of Mrs. Holloway's stupendous lemon cake in return. But the investigation quickly turns into more than a simple spy mission, forcing Judith to confront a painful part of her past. Both Judith and Bobby must bring their own unique skills to help Kat solve the tricky and dangerous problem. That is a gorgeous cover, and I want some of that cake. Breakfast. Right now. Not getting colder, just a little sharp air. Where in Norway are you? Mary, we are expecting 30s next week. Eek! But then I love cooler weather, so I'm not complaining. Yeah, I am guilty of this. I complain it's too hot. I complain it's too cold. I am Goldilocks. I just want perfect. That's all I want. Annalise, which state are you in? And oh, you're in Oslo. Okay. And Mary's probably going to pop in here, but she's in Virginia. Yep. I'm in Virginia, East Coast. I'm near the Appalachian Mountains. Oh, I bet that's beautiful right now. Okay. The Mystic Malady covers appropriately October. This is a Kindle Unlimited, also a novella. Unravel the secrets of the Stardust Coven. Lucy was well aware of what was going to take place next week. She'd been getting increasingly excited about it for the past couple of months, and now that it was all about to happen, her excitement had reached a fever pitch. She'd been quite amused to see Eleanor getting more excited as well. Eleanor was usually the calm one, instructing Lucy and teaching her the wonderful ways of magic. This is third in The Witches of Moonlight Hollow. So it had been quite interesting to see her excitement growing as well. Now it seems as though it had reached a new peak. Soon Lucy was caught up in something that few people had ever witnessed throughout history. She was part of a meeting of the Stardust Coven, an event that happened annually at just the right time when the planets aligned to fully focus the powers of the witches. They would soon find out the hard way that this was no ordinary gathering, especially when someone attacked one of the witches. For Eleanor, that could only mean one thing. The entire coven was at risk, and time was running out. If you're looking for a witchy story, Scandal at the Savoy by Ron Bass. The rich and famous are converging on the iconic Savoy Hotel in swinging 60s London. Oh, that sounds fun. Including a famous Broadway producer with anger issues, a demanding Indian Raja, and a gorgeous film star with certain kinky predilections. All is as it should be until the murder of a showgirl threatens to scandalize the hotel. The list of suspects includes Priscilla Tempest, the trouble-prone Canadian head of the Savoy press office. Clearing her name would be easy enough if only she hadn't spent the night of the murder with a certain beguiling Canadian prime minister. Blackmailed by a Scotland Yard detective, wooed by a notorious gangster, and hounded by the press, Priscilla must use wit and resourcefulness to survive the treacherous upper echelons of London society and find a killer. This is a sequel to Death at the Savoy. Doesn't say, but this is, oh, there it is, book 2. Ugh. Copies required. Annalise says, lovely, love me some mountains. Mary, I love mountains also. Wish I lived actually in the mountains, but needed to be closer to town with services. Exactly. If it were up to me, I would live on the side of a mountain for sure. As long as it had good Wi-Fi and Amazon delivery. And Annalise says, I hear that. Did we look at Murder on the Christmas Express? I can't remember. I don't think we did. This is by Alexandra Benedict. All aboard, but be aware, passengers who sleep on this train may never wake up. You got to work on your marketing, people. In the early hours of Christmas Eve, the sleeper train from London to the Highlands derails, along with the festive plans of its travelers. With the train buried in snow in the middle of nowhere, the passengers have only each other, and not all of them will reach their holiday celebrations. As the killer tries to pick passengers off one by one, former Met Detective Roz Parker can't resist one last investigation. But murder in a locked room is a formidable puzzle, even the most seasoned investigator. As accusations begin to fly, the group of travelers fractures and unexpected alliances can form. Can Roz find the culprit before anyone else is lost? Well, there you go. 10 Little Indians. Or and then there were none. Yeah, Wi-Fi. Good start. Caught on the Book. Book 4 in the Antique Bookshop by Laura Gale Black. We did this one, didn't we? The annual fishing tournament and festival in Hooks Folly, North Carolina is the high watermark event of the year. Antiquarian bookseller Jenna Quinn, owner of the Twice Upon a Time bookstore, is ready to catch some new customers with her fishing-themed book display at the festival. That is, until a local author is found dead in his booth. All fingers point to Frank Sutter, a former detective with the police department. I think we did do this one, or else his soon-to-be ex-wife had been dating the victim, and Frank had been seen having an argument with him earlier that day. That sounds really familiar. Murders of a Feather by Eileen Brady, third in the Dr. Kate Vet series. It's February in the Hudson Valley, and Oak Falls veterinarian Dr. Kate is once again up to her galoshes in corpses. Hudson Valley winters can be brutal and deadly. Dr. Kate is once again on the case, not to mention thin ice, after discovering a young engaged couple frozen to death in the lake. Ew. To make matters worse, her temporary receptionist appears to have overdosed from a recreational sedative used at the animal hospital. You just can't find anybody. Kate barely has time to dread Valentine's Day and the fact that she's alone on this holiday once again, as the police investigation shows that all three fatalities are, in fact, homicides. But who would want the young couple dead just as they were embarking on a new life together? And who pumped the temp employee full of enough animal tranquilizers to drop an ox? Kate doesn't know where to begin until she stumbles upon a connection between the three victims and decides she needs to investigate further, but will her investigation leave her any time to get to know the handsome, large animal vet she's just met on a house call? And is the injured wild crow she's taken under her wing, in fact, an omen of more bad things to come? That's a pretty cover. I'm not a big fan of birds, but that's a pretty cover. Mystery of the Log Cabin. We're running out of time. This might be the last one. By Jody Allen Bryce, fourth in the Harlan Creek Mystery Quilters. Hi, I'm Dove Agnew, and let me tell you, it's been a year in the small southern town of Harlan Creek. And just when I thought I could take a break from solving murders and sort out my emotions, fate had other plans. Dean, my ex-boyfriend and local chief of police, confessed that he still had feelings for me. Unable to resist our emotional connection, we began meeting in secret around town to talk, but our meetings often led to passionate and guilt-ridden kisses. Dean suggested we escape to his secluded log cabin for some much-needed privacy and to resolve our complicated situation. Hoping for a peaceful getaway, we expected heart-to-heart conversations to make sense of our emotions. However, our romantic intentions were shattered when, on our first night at the cabin, we opened the door to discover Luke Merriweather, a local resident, lifeless on our doorstep, and an arrow in his chest. As the small town's law enforcement struggles to uncover the truth, a cloud of suspicion hangs over certain residents, each of whom becomes a potential suspect. I turn to my tribe of mystery quilters, a tight-knit group of amateur sleuths who excel in piecing together puzzles, both in fabrics and in investigations. Among them is Petunia, a quirky pet goat with an uncanny knack for sniffing out clues. Okay, they had me until there. Together we must dig into the tangled web of secrets, lies, and hidden motives that lie beneath the surface of our seemingly idyllic small town. Yeah. At least the goat doesn't talk, right? But seriously. Ah, there you go. And they like shiny things. Well, that's what they cover. Well, we ran out of time, guys. Sorry about that. If I had any sway with the boss, I'd say let's just keep going and just call it a day. But romantic twist with the dead body. Exactly. I was going to say some things about blockers and so forth, but I withheld. Hey, Kate, you like goats? Do they help you solve crimes? They are funny. They are amusing to watch. I've seen, I don't think I've ever met one up close and personal. But we are out of time. I gotta go get the mail and put gas in the car and etc. etc. He says they are cute. They are cute. Mary says, hope to see you both later at Thunder Horse Descendant. But meanwhile, I have a great and you take care of yourself, Mary. Chicken soup, tea, hot lemonade, steaming, stuff like that. Good nutrition. Announcements. No sprints tonight, but we do have sprints tomorrow afternoon at 1 p.m. Mountain Time, 3 p.m. Eastern Time. And that will be going for 5 hours. So bring a couple books, work on some projects, etc., etc. I hope you have a very good Friday. I thank you guys so much for being here. It just means so much to me. You have no idea. I enjoy doing this, and I enjoy doing it with people who also love books like I do. And I just want to know what's out there. So, and nobody else is doing it, so I gotta do it. Um, Stay happy, stay healthy, Mary, get better, and I'll see you guys hopefully tomorrow. As it says here, don't be a bookworm, be a bookie monster. God bless.